So we're going to look at the muscular supports of Tadasana. And really, in reality, what we want to be looking at are what some people call the fascial meridians, or the planes of the lines of connective tissue that work together to move us through space. And they include the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. So the major support for the body in Tadasana is going to come from what we call the Deep-Front Line. The Deep-Front Line begins at the arches of your feet. And then it comes up muscularly between the two shin bones, actually in the back. And then it dives medially at the knee. It comes up through the width of the adductors, the width of the pelvic floor, so from sitting bone to sitting bone, pubic disc in the front to tailbone in the back. And it also includes the psoas major, psoas minor, and iliacus, which line the deep bowl of the pelvis. The stem of the breathing diaphragm, which goes from your tail. And then the width of the breathing diaphragm itself. Now at the level of the breathing diaphragm, the Deep-Front Line separates into three separate parts. The deepest part continues with the crura, the stem of the breathing diaphragm, all the way up along the front of the spine until we reach the level of the sternum. And at that point, we find two muscles that are along the front of the neck, longus colli and longus captus. And these attach here to the head. Then the second line includes the pleura of the lungs, so the fascial wrappings of the lungs, the pericardium, the fascial wrappings of the heart. Then this connects up along the sides of the neck to the scalenes, along the temporalis muscles up to the crown of the head. The most superficial tract of the Deep-Front Line comes along at the breathing diaphragm attachment at the sternum, the base of the sternum, the xiphoid process, along the back edge of the sternum, and then it joins up with longus colli and longus captus and the scalenes to come to the head again. So this whole structure, this Deep-Front Line, is really the muscular support of the spine. And what that enables us to do is soften what we call the superficial back line, which essentially goes from the soles of your feet up through the gastrocnemius, the most superficial calf muscle, through the hamstrings in the back, across the sacrotuberous ligament, and then up the erector spinae, ending at about the third eye. So when we have these muscular fascial supports in the body, the bones become spacers. So we're no longer these blocky little stacks of bones with muscles that move us through space. We're a sea of connective tissue that supports these bones as spacers. And we have a soft yet steady Tadasana.